In this video, I am going to be discussing about Rutherford's atomic model defects as well as Bohr's atomic model postulates. Defects in Rutherford's atomic model. And followed by postulates of Bohr's atomic model. So first point, he could not explain position of the electron. This is one of the defect, means from the nucleus how much distance electron is present, okay, or the exact distance where they present, that positions like that things he could not explain. And second one, stability of the atom. So even according to electrocharge dynamics, when electron is revolving around the nucleus, it will releases energy continuously in the form of radiation. After a certain time, that should be fall down in the nucleus, because there are attraction each other. Why electron revolving around the nucleus? I think you know that one nucleus is a positive character and electron is negative character. Due to this electrostatic force of attractions, when any charged particle revolving around that nucleus or other charge, they should be lose energy in the form of radiation. After a certain time, that should be fall down. That should be fall down in 10 power minus 8 seconds only. Within these seconds, that's going to be fall down. But practically that is not happened. Means he could not explain how they are revolving around the nucleus electron. So why they are constantly revolving around the nucleus, that electron, why they should not fall down. So these points could not explained by Rutherford. Based on Rutherford model, Bohr's developed one new model, that is the Bohr's atomic model. That's what we are going to discuss here. Clear? Bohr's atomic model and its postulates we are going to discuss briefly. This is so according to his theory, electrons revolving around the nucleus I am writing nucleus always positive character because it contains protons plus neutrons. Protons is positive character. Please keep in mind that the reason I am writing nucleus is a positive sign and electrons is the around the nucleus they are revolving. So according to Bohr's atomic model, every atom they contain some shells or orbits. That's we call stationary orbits. These are the way they are going to be present. And all these orbits they are showing with particular symbols and numbers. Suppose first one they are showing with n equal to 1. This is the first case, n equal to 1, and second one n equal to 2, and third one n equal to 3. These are the shell numbers. Or other name they give another number symbols k, l, m, like that. These we are going to be show. These are the stationary orbits or shell or orbit. This is called orbit or shell. So we are representing with respect to KLMN or 1, 2, 3. Clear? And next one, stationary orbit. These orbits or shells we call stationary orbit. Stationary orbit. Because when electrons are revolving in these orbits, when the electrons are revolving in this orbit, they never lose energy, they never gain energy. That is the reason electron is not fall down into this nucleus. They are not losing energy, means that won't be fall down. Even they are not gaining energy, so they are not going to be jump into somewhere. Clear? If any particle they are revolving constantly with some distance, Here two factors is there. One is towards the nucleus attraction force. This I am assuming F1. This is F1. I am taking force. At a time that electron always trying to move outside. That is F2. This should be equal to each other. Then only electron can revolve around the nucleus constantly. Otherwise, they can move any one direction. Clear? Not only electron, any particle, if they are moving around one particular object constantly, means these two forces should be equal. Then only they can revolve. So here also same thing. Electron, they are revolving around the nucleus constantly means it have two types of forces. One is towards nucleus, one is going outside. These two forces should be equal. Clear? Then only they can revolve. So whenever the electron that revolving in that orbit, they never lose energy, they never gain energy. So that orbit or shell we called stationary orbit or stationary shell. This we are going to be called stationary orbit or shell. Why you called? When they are revolving electron this orbit, when electron revolving in these orbits, it won't gain energy or lose energy or loss energy. So that's why we call these are stationary orbits. Clear? And next one, electron anyway revolving in the stationary orbits. That won't revolve all stationary orbits. That particular orbit angular momentum we are representing mvr, that should be equal to nh by 2 pi. In that particular orbits only electron can revolve constantly. When electron revolving that orbit means that should be follow, this is the thing, mvr equal to nh by 2 pi. Here n equal to 1, 2, 3 up to infinity. So we are going to suppose n equal to 1 means that's maybe K shell and first orbit. You can say first orbit. First orbit or shell number 1. This is the n equal to 1, first one. And n equal to 2, like this. Its angular momentum we are going to be calculate here. First orbit mvr equal to 1 into h by 2 pi. So n value is 1. This point is particularly more important for the case of NEET and JEE exams, entrance point of view. They ask too many times. What is the first orbit angular momentum? H by 2 pi. What is the second orbit angular momentum? Second orbit means n equal to 2. This make L. Okay. And second orbit. What is the mvr equal to value? In place of n, I can substitute 2. 2h by 2 pi. 2 will be cancelled. H by pi. Like this, they ask too many questions based on this way. Understood? And next one, when electron revolving around the nucleus, we know that one, that is stationary orbit, they never lose energy, they never gain energy. Suppose we are giving some energy to the electron. Suppose we are providing some energy to the electrons. Okay. Then electron going to be jump into higher level. That depends upon your energy, how much energy you are going to be produced. Each shell have some particular energy, that is fixed energy. That is the reason we call stationary orbit. Whenever shell number increases, energy of the orbit also going to be increases. Energy of the orbit also going to be increases. So the orbit which is near to the nucleus, that orbit energy is less. Which is moving far away means that orbit energy is more. For example, this is, I am taking this is E1, E2, E3. So energy of the orbit order is E3 is greater than E2, E1, like that. So when electron is present in the first orbit, they have some energy, that is minimum energy called. always try to be present electron near to the nucleus. There is more force of attractions, and not only here, anywhere, most of the cases means 99%. They are try to present in low energy state. Low energy is the highly stable. That is the reason electron try to prefer to stay first orbit. That is the reason higher shells they won't accept. Maybe people 10th standard may study that hydrogen is one electron that have only one orbit. That is wrong. Okay, it have infinite number of orbits, but electron try to prefer always first orbit because that is stable state. Now here electron is there. If I am supplying some energy, that electron may can jump into second orbit or more than also. That depends upon your energy, how much you are supplying. First orbit energy we are going to be prove, that is coming video, 13.6 electron volts. This is the n equal to 1 orbit, but minus. Second orbit energy is minus 3.4 electron volts, like that. So by minus I am giving here, this is a less than 0. This much value is less than 0. That's why electron is stable in first orbit. Second orbit minus 3.4 compared to minus 13.6, minus 3.4 is the more energy. That's why energy of the orbit increases when n value increases. Clear? Suppose I need to go next shell. So this is n equal to 1, n equal to 2, n equal to 3. So if you want to go n equal to 1 to 2 means you need to supply energy. How much energy? The energy difference between these two shells. What is the first shell energy here? Delta E equal to E2 minus E1. What is the E2 value here? Minus 3.4 electron volt. E1 value how much? Minus 13.6. Is that correct? But I am subtracting means minus of minus, that become 13.6. So it become finally 10.02 electron volt. So if you supply this much energy exactly, then only electron can jump first orbit to second orbit. First orbit to second orbit. Otherwise they won't jump. Even if you are supplying 10 electron volt also, no use of that one. Even if you are supplying 9.5 electron volt, doesn't matter. If that is exactly equal to 10.02 electron volts, then only they can jump into next orbit. Is it clear? So if you are supplying middle energies, no use of that one. That will be stay exactly that position. And one more point here, that energy difference is always delta E equal to E2 minus E1. That's equal to h nu. You may can write here delta E equal to hc by lambda also. That energy gap. Suppose note that one. If you are supplying more than 13.6 electron volt, then electron eject completely from the hydrogen atom, because first orbit is energy how much? 13.6. If you are supplying more than this means electron completely ejected from out of the atom. So you may can say ionization energy term you may learn 10th standard also. If I am supplying some energy that can remove electron from here, I can get here like this. If you are supplying more than 13.6 electron volt, electron can ejected from first orbit. That may can ejected from first orbit, that become H plus ion. Okay. So what is the ionization energy of hydrogen atom? 13.6. Why you are taking that first orbit energy is 13.6 minus 13.6 electron volts. If you are supplying more than 13.6 electron volts, electron can eject it. Even still you are supplying more means that electron have some energy, that is with kinetic energy. Clear? And one more important point. So which is the orbit near to the nucleus, that's we can say ground state. The orbits which is after that, whatever they given number of orbits, doesn't matter, that is all those we call excited states. So we may can take here n value, n equal to 1, n equal to 2, n equal to 3, or k, l, m, like that. So ground state value is always n equal to 1 or k shell. Next, excited state, one more term is there because electron can excited to any shell. That's we called excited states. That's maybe n equal to 2, 3, 4 and so on. Clear? Those are excited state. If n equal to 2 means first excited state, like that. Clear? I hope you understood main postulates of Bohr's atomic model. If you are not subscribed, please try to subscribe and share it. Thank you very much. In next videos we may can see radius derivation and energy like this way. So this is the nucleus and electron is present. How much distance of nucleus to orbit? First orbit, second orbit, what is the distance between nucleus to second orbit? That's the thing we are going to be calculate. If you find indirectly orbit distance, indirectly I can find out position of the electron. If I know energy of these orbits, energy values, indirectly I am calculating energy of the electron. Next I am going to be calculate velocity of the electron, energy, radius, all those things. That's coming videos we'll discuss. Thank you very much.